we're doing is changing out a brake caliper on this 1980 Mazda Rx7. Only going to do the driver's side because that's all I have, and that's all the parts store has. That's all you get. Now I've already changed the brake hose. I'll bring you in. Now on this car, I have already changed out this brake hose, the rubber line here to the hard line. It's got a new master cylinder in it. I thought it was just brake lines getting the vapor lock to where the lines just squeeze tight and the leak pressure down but not back up, because it's been pulling hard left. But the last time I drove this, just locked up and would not go anywhere. So now we're just gonna throw a new caliper on here, maybe resurface this. By that I mean hit it with a grinder, but we'll probably just put a new caliper on, new pads, call it a day. Well, this has been an absolute pain. As you can see here, I started pulling off this bracket that holds the caliper onto the rotor. So I pulled this top bolt out of there. This bottom bolt came out, which let the caliper come off, and then it just slides off of the pin here. But let me see if I can get you to see it. This bolt down there is what holds this bottom side of the caliper bracket in. Now the problem is this part of this strut tower here is blocking it, to where I think I would have to pretty much take this, undo the bolt on the bottom there to spin this out of the way to be able to get it. Tried putting a wrench and stuff on it to see if that could get it, and no, that does not let me get it. And even if I could get it to turn out, which I got pretty close, there's not enough clearance to actually be able to pull the bolt out without it just hitting that, strut. So I think all I'm gonna do here is go ahead, I've already got that caliper pulled from this bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and reuse this caliper bracket, pop this caliper, this is my new one, pop this caliper off of this bracket, just put this new caliper on my old bracket, and they want the bracket with the core, so I'm just gonna give them back their new bracket, and I think that's gonna save me quite a bit of time. Nothing can ever go easy, but I think we got a plan now. Well, so there we are, new caliper is bolted on, all the bolts are tight. Now the dilemma I'm gonna have is, so there's two style of brake lines you'll typically see. One is this style. As you can see, it's just a fitting there that threads in right here where this bolt is, that's protecting the fitting point. Now the inconvenient part about these is you have to basically turn the hose or be able to turn the caliper on, which, what I'm trying to think through in my brain right now is maybe if I hold this, I can hold the, what I'm getting at here is, I think my original plan was to undo the brake line from the hard line up here, and then that would let me be able to turn this brake line into here. What I'm wondering now is if I hold the brake line into the caliper with a wrench and then turn the caliper itself, I can thread it off, and then I can do a rinse repeat and do that onto the new one here, hold it with a wrench, spin this on, instead of having to go remove that hard line to rubber line connection. So I'll pick away, tell you which one I do. I figured I also might as well explain real quick. I said there's two styles of brake lines. So the other style is basically a square, and then a bolt goes through it. So you just undo that bolt, and then it's got a bolt through it that the hydraulic fluid goes through and down into the caliper. So this is obviously not that style where it's just a threaded fitting that goes into the caliper. But if you have the other style, you're not in this predicament. You just undo that bolt, slap the new line on, bolt it down before you lose too much brake fluid. On this one, we got to either spin the caliper or pop this soft line off and then thread it in. Still thinking. Well, I did not remember to break the brake line free off of the caliper before taking the caliper off. So I need to put it on to hold it down to break it free anyway, so I did that. So now I'm just gonna do it this way, which is unscrewing the caliper from the hose. Like threading on a couple pound nut. All of this because I didn't want to undo one hard line fit. Perfect. Makes perfect sense. Let's snug that guy up before we get too carried away and forget what I'm doing. Gluten tight. I'll just slap this. What do we got going on here? Why does it feel a little twisted? Come on, little buddy. Go to your home. Brake pad was holding me up. Well, I just had you on. There we go. Throw this new bolt in. That was me throwing it in. You couldn't tell. What a beautiful day out. Isn't it nice? Somebody was sneaking up on me for a second. So now all we have left to do is to go bleed this bad boy. So this is the breather. So basically you have someone help you for this. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to reclip this back on there too. You can have someone help you for this, which makes it go a lot easier. Which would be have someone go in, sit in the car, pump the brakes, hold it, crack the line, and then keep doing that until you get just solid hydraulic fluid coming out with no little air bubbles sprinkling through. I like these little hand gestures. Not sure what to do with my hands. Now I'm going to elect to bleed this the lone wolf way, which there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I've tried vacuum breather pumps and they just never work for me. So the way I do this is I take like a 4-foot level and wedge it between the seat onto the brake pedal and then use that to pump it up and hold, and then I come out and crack it. It takes a little longer, but it gets the job done. For those of you that didn't believe me, it's real. This is my level. 4-foot level. Pressing in down there on a brake pedal. See if we can do this one-handed. You can even use it to plunge it. Depending on how hard your pedal is, obviously. Once you think you're good, boom, wedged into the seat. That'll hold me, and then I can come over here, just scattered everywhere, break this free, And I don't know if you can see it or not because of the light, but there's brake fluid flowing. Always use a Tygon tube so that way you can see if there's air bubbles or not. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. I'm just going to slap the wheel back on, clean up a little bit, put the tires on, get it down on the ground, top a little more brake fluid off. But give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Comment down below what you guys thought about this, and I hope this helps. Again, this was doing a brake caliper, driver side, on a 1980 Mazda Rx7. Stay tuned, plenty more to come at you. Thanks.